1980. Let's hear from Bruce in Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Welcome.
How are you doing this morning? First of all, climate change doesn't exist. Anthropogenic climate change, that would be man-made climate change, doesn't exist. Most climate change is the result of extraterrestrial events, solar minimums, and the idea of cutting down on carbon dioxide is just a big joke because I grow marijuana. A lot of people that grow plants introduce additional CO2 because it increases yields. Now we got this maniac, Bill Gates, that wants to dim the sun. And, you know, the problem is this. They've been pushing climate change, the United Nations, same people pushing the forced vaccines and everything else. Yesterday, there were protests all around the world to stop this globalist agenda that Mr. Karpinski is behind. We've had it, and we're being censored. I'm being censored on Facebook. I've been censored half of the last 2 years. There are a lot of anthropogenic problems we have, like endocrine disruptors that are reducing sperm counts because of all of these bisphenol plastics and things like that. If you want to work on something, why don't you work on that? Because there is no real climate change.
All right, Bruce. Gene Karpinski.
Well, Bill, the good news is that Bruce's views are an increasingly small part of our country's views. As you said, Bill, you showed some of the data, the charts. The evidence is clear. Climate change is happening. It's happening more intensely in the last 2 decades. And carbon pollution is what's causing it. And we're seeing that in the wildfires, in the droughts, in the floods, in all kinds of extreme weather, in the sea level rise. So it's actually, frankly, no longer worth having a debate about whether climate change is real, whether humans are causing it. The science is clear. You pointed it out. The question is, how do we solve it? And do we let other countries take the lead, or do we reestablish our leadership as the nation that's going to build back better and create the jobs of the future and help solve the climate crisis and be a leader for the world like we used to be, and now we've fallen backwards. So there's no doubt in terms of the climate crisis being real and being caused by pollution that caused by humans, and therefore we need solutions, and we can debate the solutions. I'm sorry, Bruce, you're in a ever smaller minority. It's no longer a debate about whether it's happening or not and whether humans are causing it. That part is clear. We can debate the solutions.
The League of Conservation Voters, one of several groups behind a $10 million ad campaign calling on Congress to go big on infrastructure and green jobs. Here's a look at their recent ad.
Calling all builders, all welders and roofers, engineers and electricians, calling all brick masons and boiler makers, steel workers and steam fitters. Your country is calling you to rebuild America, to create a cleaner, safer, more prosperous future for all. Tackling climate change, this is the job of our lifetime. It's time to build back better. Let's get to work.
Gene Karpinski, you certainly have the president on board. I presume a lot of Democrats as well. What about the Republican side?
So